Jasper yanked the trash bag from the bin, its contents leaking into the puddles at his boots. Neon lights flickered above the alley, buzzing like restless ghosts. The city smelled of wet metal and stale smoke. Normally this was a quiet, boring part of his night shift. Tonight, though, something felt off. He froze mid-step when a shimmer of blue light darted across the alley's shadows. Before he could react, a deafening screech split the air. Jasper stumbled back as a massive shape fell from the sky. Its wings were tattered, scales cracked, glowing faintly like embers. The creature slammed onto the wet pavement, sending trash cans tumbling and sparks scattering. His first thought was, get out. But when he tried to move, the alien's clawed hand shot out, gripping his wrist with unbelievable force. He yelped, heart pounding, as the creature's weight pressed against him. What are you?" he gasped. The alien's eyes, huge and luminous, fixed on him with pain and something like recognition. A low, rumbling sound came from its throat. Jasper noticed an odd, pulsing sigil embedded in its chest, glowing brighter with each breath. He didn't know what it meant, but something in him clicked. This creature wasn't just dangerous, it was alive, scared, and dependent on him. Instinct took over. Jasper grabbed the alien's wrist with both hands, shifting its weight just enough to keep it from crushing him. His mind raced. The alley wasn't wide enough to hide from anyone, or anything, that might be watching. Somewhere above, the city's surveillance drones whirred. He couldn't let them see this. Trash crates and broken signposts littered the ground. Jasper grabbed the nearest metal bin and pushed it toward the creature, using it as a shield. Sparks flew when its claw scraped the metal. The alien hissed, but it didn't strike him, just trembled. Jasper noticed a faint vibration in the sigil on its chest, almost like it was syncing with his pulse. Why me? He wondered, but the thought was cut short when the alley's end lit up with flashing drone lights. The first drone hovered near, its sensors scanning. A mechanical voice said, "Target identified. Capture protocol active." Jasper's stomach clenched. He had no weapons, no backup. Just his fists, his brain, and sheer guts. He shoved the trash crate forward again, jerking the alien behind it. Sparks and debris flew, giving them a momentary shield. The drone adjusted its aim. "Come on, think," Jasper muttered. He kicked the trash can into a puddle of spilled oil. The liquid hissed and smoke spiraled into the air. The drone swerved, momentarily blinded. The alien coughed, a small plume of iridescent mist escaping its mouth. It flinched, and Jasper realized it was hurting, maybe even dying. Panic flared in him, but he couldn't let fear freeze him. Not now. Not when something, needed him. Jasper glanced at the alley wall, rough metal pipes crisscrossing above. He climbed quickly, hauling the alien up by its arm in the few weak points he could find. His muscles screamed. He could feel its weight, heavy but fragile. The sigil glowed brighter as they climbed, pulsing like a heartbeat in sync with his own. For a second he felt something impossible, a bond forming between them, unspoken but real. When they reached a ledge above, the drone buzzed underneath, scanning. Jasper pulled the alien into a shadowed corner, barely keeping it from toppling over the edge. Its wings twitched weakly, and its eyes met his, full of desperation. He whispered, "I've got you. I'll figure this out." The alien's chest heaved, the sigil flashing intensely, almost like it understood him. Then, just as a second drone appeared from the alley below, the alien's claw shot out, this time not at Jasper but at the ledge's edge. A burst of blue energy shot from the sigil, striking the drone. Sparks exploded, and the drone spiraled out of control, smashing into the wall. Jasper stumbled backward, heart hammering, unsure if it was luck or something far stranger at work. He crouched beside the alien, breathing hard, his hands shaking. It groaned softly, pain and exhaustion in every note. He realized he had done something impossible, protected a creature far beyond his understanding with nothing but courage and quick thinking. A shadow moved above them suddenly. Something huge, silent, and watching. Jasper froze. The alien's eyes widened, and a low rumble echoed from its throat. He didn't know if this was another threat, or something worse. Jasper swallowed hard, gripping the alien's arm tighter. Whatever was out there, he knew one thing. This was only the beginning. Jasper's heart thudded in his chest as the shadow above shifted. A gust of wind rattled the pipes, and he caught a glint of metal. A drone, bigger and faster than the first, hovering silently, scanning the ledge. Its sensors glowed red, locking onto the alien. He could feel the creature trembling beside him. It wasn't just tired, it was fighting to survive. He needed a plan. There was no time to think long. He grabbed a broken pipe from the ledge and swung it at the drone, hoping to disrupt its sensors. Sparks flew, but the drone barely flinched. It hovered closer, energy beams humming ominously. Jasper swallowed his fear. He couldn't let this thing die, not now. Not when it had clearly chosen him. Okay, think fast, he muttered, scanning the alley below. Trash bins, crates, even old street signs littered the ground. He pushed the alien back against the wall and grabbed a crate, tossing it down. It hit a puddle, sending oily water splashing. The drone's sensors reflected the light, momentarily blinding it. The alien hissed softly, and Jasper realized it was trying to communicate. Its eyes glowed brighter, focused on him. I don't understand you, Jasper whispered, brushing a streak of rain from his face. But I'm not leaving you. He took a deep breath and decided to climb higher along the pipes, dragging the alien with him. Each movement was precarious. The ledge was narrow, wet from the rain, but every second they stayed, the drones were closing in. As they reached a corner, a sudden rumble shook the wall. Jasper froze, realizing that more drones were approaching from the alley's far end. His pulse raced. He couldn't fight them all. He had to outsmart them. He spotted a maintenance hatch above, just big enough to hide both of them for a few minutes. With a grunt, he hoisted the alien through it. The metal scraped against its scales, sending sparks flying. The creature groaned in pain but didn't resist. Inside the hatch, it was dark and cramped, and Jasper's chest heaved as he looked at the alien. It was massive, its wings folded, cracked, and shimmering faintly in the dim light. You're strong, stronger than I expected, he said half to himself. Then something unusual happened. Its chest, the sigil, flashed in a rhythm matching his heartbeat. He leaned closer, and for a brief moment he thought it was trying to guide him, to tell him something. A sudden beep made him jump. The drone outside had spotted them, pressing buttons to unlock the hatch door. Jasper's mind raced. He had no weapons, no reinforcements, just his wits. He grabbed a loose panel from the hatch wall and yanked it free, exposing wires. Quickly, he improvised a short circuit, sending a spark and surge of electricity toward the hatch's control system. The drone paused, confused, its lights flickering. The alien stirred, and Jasper noticed it wasn't just weak, it was wounded in multiple places. Its breathing was labored, and faint smoke rose from a tiny crack along its neck. Panic bubbled in Jasper's chest, but he clenched his jaw. Fear wouldn't help either of them. He knelt beside the creature, pressing his hands against the crack. The sigil pulsed, and for a moment he felt a strange warmth spreading into his palms, almost as if the alien were trying to heal through some energy he could feel. He didn't understand it, but it gave him hope. Stay with me, he whispered. The alien hissed softly in response. He caught a faint word from its throat, almost like a name. Jasper? He froze. Could it really recognize him? Or was it confused in pain? Either way, it needed him. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the alley outside. The drone had broken through the first barricade. Metal shattered and sparks flew. Jasper grabbed a loose pipe, ready to defend. The alien's eyes blazed brighter, and it shifted slightly, almost leaning on him for support. He realized something important. The drones weren't just attacking the alien, they were trying to capture it alive. Whoever sent them didn't want it dead. That made the stakes far worse. Jasper climbed to a higher pipe inside the hatch, dragging the alien carefully. As he moved, he noticed faint holographic markings on its scales, tiny symbols that glimmered like constellations. He couldn't read them, but instinct told him they were a map, a message, or a warning. Curiosity burned in him even as fear gnawed at his gut. Whatever this creature was, it was far more important than any garbage he'd ever handled. The hatch shuddered again. Outside, the drones weren't giving up. Jasper had seconds to act. He pulled the alien into a corner, positioning a small stack of crates between them and the hatch. The creature groaned softly, and Jasper felt a flicker of guilt. He had no medical skills, no weapons, only courage and quick thinking. And somehow he had to protect it. Then, without warning, a wave of energy surged from the alien's sigil, slamming the nearest drone back into the alley wall. Sparks rained down like fireworks, and Jasper stumbled, shielding both of them. His eyes widened. The creature wasn't just dying, it was reacting to danger in ways he didn't understand. He had protected it once with brains and bravery, and now it was fighting back in its own way. Jasper looked down at the alien, who was struggling but alive. His chest heaved, muscles trembling. He whispered, "You've got to hold on. I won't let them take you." A sudden shadow passed above the hatch. Jasper froze. Another, larger drone, or something else entirely, was hovering silently, its sensors scanning. The alien's eyes locked on it, pulsing brightly. Jasper felt a surge of dread. Whatever was out there was bigger, stronger, and more dangerous than anything he'd faced yet. And for the first time he understood, this was no longer just about survival. It was about a mission, to protect something extraordinary, something the universe clearly wanted gone. He swallowed hard, gripping the alien's arm tighter. The hatch rattled violently. The next move, his next decision, would decide both their fates. Jasper pressed himself against the hatch wall, heart hammering in his chest. The shadow above flickered again. Whatever it was, it didn't move like a drone. It hovered silently, watching, analyzing. The alien beside him shivered, wings twitching weakly. Its chest sigil pulsed faster than ever, casting blue light across the cramped metal walls. Jasper swallowed. He didn't understand the glow, but instinct told him it was trying to communicate or warn him. "Okay," he muttered, "we need a plan and fast." He glanced at the wires and pipes around him. There was no weapon, no backup, just ingenuity, courage, and sheer desperation. His eyes caught a flicker on the alien's scales, tiny, almost imperceptible holographic symbols shimmering like constellations. His breath caught. "Is it trying to show me something?" The alien's throat vibrated with a low hum. Jasper froze. The sound grew louder, and then, in a voice that wasn't quite human, words formed in his mind. "I am the Dragon Emperor." Jasper staggered back, nearly tripping over the crates. "Wait, what?" he whispered. The creature's eyes glowed brighter, almost pleading. "The Emperor?" His pulse raced. He had no idea what he was even supposed to believe, but something in the alien's tone carried weight. The energy from the sigil pulsed strongly against his hands, as if confirming the truth. "The galaxy is collapsing," the voice continued, fragmented, each word like a hammer strike. Jasper felt a chill. He had been fighting drones, protecting a massive alien, improvising barricades. Now he understood it wasn't just some stray creature. This being carried the fate of countless lives across countless worlds. "Okay, slow down," Jasper said aloud, shaking his head. "One step at a time." But the alien wasn't finished. It extended a claw toward him, brushing his arm gently. Images flashed in his mind, planets burning, civilizations crumbling, fleets of ships destroyed by some invisible enemy. The alien's energy pulsed in rhythm with the images, each one hammering the point home. This was urgent. Critical. Life and death on a cosmic scale. Jasper's chest tightened. He had always thought of himself as ordinary, a sanitation worker taking out trash in a city that didn't care. Now he was carrying someone, or something, who literally shaped the fate of the galaxy. The weight of it hit him, but instead of fear, determination sparked in his chest. He wasn't going to run. Not now. Not when courage was required. The hatch rattled. Outside, the drone had recovered, but something had changed. A ripple in the air, almost like a distortion, caused its sensors to flicker. Jasper realized the Dragon Emperor's energy wasn't just reactive. It was powerful, deliberate, dangerous. He could feel the alien leaning slightly on him, weak but alive. Jasper's mind raced. If he could use the energy, even indirectly, maybe they could escape the drones entirely. He grabbed a loose panel from the hatch wall and yanked it free, exposing wires and circuits. The alien's sigil pulsed violently as if reacting to his hands on the metal. Jasper took a deep breath and connected a few exposed wires, sending sparks down into the hatch's wiring system. Outside, the drone surged, sparks flying, system shorting out. It spun erratically, crashing into a wall below. Jasper felt a rush of relief and awe. Somehow, the alien had amplified his improvisation, giving them both a tiny advantage. But relief was short-lived. The larger shadow above them moved again. This time it wasn't mechanical. Jasper caught a glimpse, a massive shape, wings folded, sleek and terrifying. He couldn't tell if it was another enemy or something more. The alien growled low, and Jasper felt a subtle shift in its energy. Whatever this was, it recognized the Dragon Emperor. The stakes had escalated instantly. The Emperor's voice spoke again in Jasper's mind, slower this time, almost pleading. "Jasper must survive, protect the sigil." The word struck him. The creature wasn't just asking for help, it was entrusting him with a mission. And if he failed, the consequences weren't local, they were galactic. Jasper's fingers tightened around a pipe. He didn't have weapons. He didn't have allies. All he had was human ingenuity, courage, and sheer will. Suddenly, the larger shadow lunged toward the hatch. Jasper yelped, spinning the pipe, trying to block it, but it moved faster than anything he'd seen. Sparks flew as the alien's energy surged, creating a shockwave that forced the shadow back. Jasper staggered, heart racing, watching as the creature regained a flicker of strength from the Emperor's energy. In the chaos, something clicked in Jasper's mind. The holographic symbols on the alien scales, they weren't random. They were a map, a sequence, a code. He studied them quickly, tracing a pattern with his fingers. The alien's sigil pulsed in acknowledgement, as if urging him forward. He realized that if he could decode it even partially, they might have a chance to escape the drones and the larger threat. The hatch shuddered violently as the enemy shadow retreated momentarily, giving him a precious second. Jasper whispered, "Okay. I get it. You need me to help you, and I will." His voice trembled, but his resolve was clear. The alien's eyes softened, almost in gratitude. A sudden, sharp rumble shook the hatch floor. From below, a new sound emerged. Metal scraping against stone, something approaching far bigger than the drones. Jasper froze. He had survived drones, improvised circuits and raw energy surges, but he had never faced whatever this was. The alien hissed, wings twitching in fear and recognition. Jasper gritted his teeth, gripping its claw tightly. "Whatever's coming, we face it together," he whispered. He didn't know if they could survive it. But he did know this: the fate of more than his city, maybe even the galaxy, was resting in his hands now. The hatch creaked ominously, and the blue sigil flared brighter than ever, pulsing against his palm. Whatever came next, it would test him like never before. And then, a deafening roar echoed from the alley below, a roar that wasn't mechanical, that shook the walls and rattled the city lights. Jasper's eyes widened. He glanced at the alien, whose eyes reflected both fear and recognition. "Jasper, we have no time," it whispered in his mind. The truth hit him like a hammer. The real danger wasn't behind them. It was coming, and they had only just begun to fight for survival. The hatch trembled violently as the roar from below reverberated through the walls. Jasper clutched the Dragon Emperor's claw tightly, his knuckles white. The air smelled of ozone and scorched metal. Whatever was coming, it was huge, fast and deadly. He could feel the vibrations in his chest, like the city itself was trembling. He took a deep breath. Fear threatened to paralyze him, but he shoved it down. "I can do this. I have to." The shadow above shifted again, and Jasper saw the creature clearly this time. A massive alien predator, wings folded tight, scales black and jagged, eyes glowing like molten fire, hovered silently. Its intent was clear. It wanted the Dragon Emperor. The smaller creature trembled in Jasper's grip, struggling to stay upright. Its sigil pulsed wildly, blue streaks of energy arcing toward the shadow. Sparks crackled in the air, illuminating the predator's jagged silhouette. Jasper's mind raced. He had no weapons, no reinforcements, and almost no time. But he had brains, courage, and the Emperor's trust. He glanced at the hatch wall. Pipes crisscrossed overhead, loose panels and crates littered the floor. Improvisation was their only chance. "Okay, we can do this," he whispered. The Dragon Emperor hissed softly, almost in encouragement. Jasper grabbed a loose pipe, then another, connecting them to create a makeshift lever. He positioned it under a heavy hatch panel, planning to use it as a trap or diversion. His fingers shook, but his resolve did not. The predator lunged, wings snapping outward like blades. Sparks flew as the blue energy from the Emperor clashed against the dark scales. Jasper ducked instinctively, swinging the lever pipe toward the predator's leg. It struck with a clang but barely slowed the creature. The predator's eyes locked on him, a deadly, intelligent gleam. Jasper realized they couldn't just fight. It was too strong. They had to outthink it. His gaze fell on a narrow ventilation shaft at the back of the hatch. Too small for the predator, just big enough for them. "Follow me," he said urgently, gripping the Emperor's claw. The alien hesitated, then obeyed. Every second counted. As they scrambled toward the vent, the predator's tail lashed out, smashing a crate and sending debris flying. Sparks and smoke filled the air. The alien hissed, wings flaring weakly. Jasper pressed a crate against the tail's path, slowing it enough to reach the shaft. He climbed in first, bracing himself, then helped the Dragon Emperor through. The confined space magnified every sound: the predator's screech, the hiss of the smaller creature, the rain dripping from the hatch above. Inside the vent, they crawled in silence, blue light from the sigil reflecting off the walls. Jasper's mind raced. He realized the sigil wasn't just glowing, it reacted to his movements almost like it could manipulate energy. He focused, pressing it gently against the vent wall. Sparks leapt from the metal. The predator froze, snarling, unable to penetrate the narrow vent. Jasper felt a thrill of hope. They had bought precious seconds. But hope was fragile. The vent ended in a vertical shaft leading to an open rooftop. Jasper looked down. The city stretched below, alive with neon, rain, and danger. One misstep and they could fall hundreds of feet. He swallowed hard and helped the Emperor climb, muscles straining. Every second, the predator's screeches echoed below. Finally, they reached the rooftop. The wind whipped rain into their faces. The predator circled below, wings scraping walls, unable to reach them. Jasper's chest heaved. He had never felt more alive, and more terrified. He glanced at the Dragon Emperor, whose breathing was shallow but steady. The creature's eyes met his, and for the first time, Jasper felt their bond fully. "Stay with me," he whispered. "I won't let them take you." The Emperor's sigil pulsed brighter, responding almost as if it understood. A faint hum of energy ran through Jasper's hands, warming him. He realized the creature wasn't just fighting, it was reacting to his courage and determination, channeling energy in ways he couldn't comprehend. Suddenly, the predator roared again, louder this time. It was trying to find a way up, testing the limits of its strength. Jasper looked around. The rooftop was littered with vents, broken antennas, and neon signs. He grabbed a fallen metal beam, wedged it at an angle, and braced it. The predator lunged, claws slashing. Sparks flew as it hit the beam, bouncing back with a screech. Jasper's heart pounded. Improvisation and courage had given them an advantage, but for how long? Then came a new sound, a low rumble from the city below. Jasper's eyes widened. The predator's ears twitched. The Dragon Emperor's sigil pulsed violently, almost like a warning. From the shadows, another figure moved, larger than the first predator. Something even more dangerous was approaching, silent and deliberate. Jasper swallowed. He had faced drones, predators, and now an unknown force. But he didn't flinch. "Whatever comes next," he said firmly, gripping the Emperor's claw, "we face it together." The Dragon Emperor hissed, wings trembling, but its eyes held a glimmer of trust and recognition. Jasper could feel the creature's energy pulsing against his palms. It wasn't just survival, it was hope, courage, and determination. A flash of lightning split the sky, illuminating the city below and the predators circling beneath them. The alien's sigil blazed brighter than ever, arcing streams of blue light into the night air. Jasper took a deep breath, muscles tense, mind racing. He understood one thing clearly: this was only the beginning. Something larger, something far more dangerous was coming. And he had no choice but to fight. The wind whipped rain into Jasper's face as he crouched beside the Dragon Emperor on the rooftop. The predator had retreated, vanishing into the shadows below, but the city was still alive with danger. Sirens blared in the distance, drones hovered far below, and the neon lights reflected off puddles like shards of glass. Every muscle in his body ached, but he didn't move. Not yet. He looked at the Emperor, wings folded, scales cracked, and realized how close they had come to losing everything. "You held on," Jasper whispered, pressing his hand gently to the alien's glowing sigil. Blue light pulsed in response, warmer now, less chaotic. He didn't understand it fully, but he felt it, a fragile bond, a shared heartbeat between human and Dragon Emperor. The alien's breathing steadied, a soft hiss replacing the labored wheeze it had made hours ago. A small victory. A tiny payoff for sheer courage. The Dragon Emperor's eyes met his. In them, Jasper saw not just gratitude but trust, something that transcended species, size, or power. He smiled faintly, though fatigue weighed heavy on him. "We survived," he said softly, more to himself than to the alien. "And we'll keep surviving." But survival wasn't enough. Jasper knew the predator and the drones weren't the real threat. Somewhere out there, far larger forces waited, forces that could destroy entire worlds. The Emperor stirred slightly, energy rippling along its chest, and Jasper realized the creature had more to show him. Its sigil projected a faint holographic map, symbols glowing against the rainy night. He squinted. Star systems, planets, fleets of ships, all marked in red. Jasper's stomach twisted. All of this could be destroyed, he whispered. The Emperor nodded subtly, sending a soft pulse from its sigil into his palm. Fear pressed in, but Jasper squared his shoulders. He had faced impossible odds before tonight. He had improvised, adapted, and protected something far greater than himself. And he would not shrink from what came next. "Then we prepare," he said firmly. "We can't run. We can't hide. We fight, together." The Emperor's glow intensified, almost as if acknowledging his words, a silent agreement passing between them. Jasper felt a surge of pride, not arrogance, but the pride of human courage and resilience, proving that even an ordinary man could stand against forces far beyond comprehension. Hours passed. The rain began to ease, but the neon glow reflected off wet rooftops like 1,000 distant eyes. Jasper and the Emperor crouched in silence, watching the city and the horizon. Every small sound, a drip of water, a distant engine, the hum of a far-off drone, kept them alert. The city below was still unaware of the cosmic weight resting in one alley and now on a rooftop. One human, one dragon emperor, and a bond that had been forged in fire, fear, and desperation. Jasper ran a hand along the alien's forearm. "You trust me," he said, voice trembling slightly. The Emperor's eyes flickered in affirmation. "I don't know how I got here or why you chose me, but I won't fail you." He swallowed hard, the weight of responsibility settling like stone in his chest. It was terrifying. But for the first time he believed in his own strength. A soft hum rose from the Emperor's chest. The sigil projected a more detailed hologram, revealing fleets of unknown ships moving across several star systems. Red lines connected planets like a spiderweb of danger. Jasper's eyes widened. The predator they had escaped was just a fragment of a much larger threat. But he didn't flinch. He had survived impossible odds before and he would do so again. Courage was contagious even to the cosmos itself. He glanced down at the city one last time, taking a deep breath. Ordinary citizens moved through their lives, unaware of what had happened in the alleys, unaware of the galaxy's silent collapse. Jasper smiled faintly. "One life at a time," he murmured. "One choice at a time. We can make a difference." The Emperor pulsed softly as if agreeing. Together they were stronger. Together they were hope. A sudden flicker in the night sky caught Jasper's attention. Something distant, moving too fast to be a drone. A shadow passed over the moon, leaving trails of light behind. He frowned. The Emperor stiffened beside him, wings twitching slightly. Jasper's pulse quickened. Whatever threat had been lurking below was not gone. It had only gone silent, biding its time. He looked at the Emperor and said firmly, "Rest for now. But soon, we fight again. And this time we'll be ready." The sigil pulsed gently in response, a quiet promise of what was to come. They were survivors, yes, but also warriors in a galaxy that had barely noticed humans until now. And Jasper understood something vital. Humans had a role no one else could fill. Courage, intelligence, and compassion could shape the fate of worlds. The city hummed below, rain falling softly, lights reflecting in puddles. But above it all, on the edge of a rooftop, two unlikely allies, one human, one dragon emperor, prepared for the battles to come. The predator, the fleets, the cosmic dangers, they would face them all. And Jasper's courage would be the spark that lit hope in a universe teetering on the brink. A final pulse from the Emperor's sigil projected a tiny, glowing figure in the distance. Another dragon, possibly more allies, possibly more danger. Jasper's eyes narrowed, resolve hardening. "We're not done yet," he whispered. And the city, the galaxy, and the viewer watching this story knew it too. The adventure had only just begun.